Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to back to Be the Change Now. I am very delighted to have had one of those experiences where you start out going, "Why, God, why?" Like a negative experience, right? So-called negative, a perceived challenge, okay? And I'm delighted that what that brought up for me was, oh, because I'm working on shifting this into when something happens that feels uncomfortable, I go, oh, what could I learn from that? What's the lesson here? I get really excited and curious. And I gave this analogy to my friend, um, and it's just delighting me. Okay. So I am now experiencing life as I'm a trick-or-treater, okay? It's Halloween, and I go to the door and I knock on the door, and the person answers the door. This is happening all day, every day, okay? The person answers the door and they say trick or treat, and I get to choose. So every time something happens in my life, it's saying trick or treat. It is my choice. I could choose to say trick, please. And what's the secret is that the trick will get you back to the treat. So you can't choose wrong. It's just what you want to choose. Okay. You cannot choose wrong. Everything comes back to treat. So no biggie if you're choosing trick for a long time. I chose trick until a year and a half ago. Okay. I still sometimes choose trick. All right. Trick gets you to treat. So it's no biggie. But okay. The person says trick or treat. Which one do you want? Right. Okay. When you say trick, you gonna snowball into this lie, okay? That basically anything that says anything different than you are inherently valuable and absolutely innocent and unconditional love, anything that questions or diminishes that is a lie, okay? So when I say trick, they just hand me a lie. It's trick. It's a lie, right? Gonna try to trick you with this lie. Okay. Now, what's the first thing that happens to me and to all of us when our amazing nervous system, which is, I am coming to believe, an incredibly sophisticated technology that ties in with our higher self? Okay. And Bashar, my latest exciting thing, is this teacher Bashar, who I will link some of this below. Talks about how the nervous system is linked to the higher self. Okay. So this nervous system, when it hears a lie, it goes, ugh. Okay. Some people experience that as a racing heart. Some people experience that as um, shallow breathing. Some people experience it as a pit in their stomach. Some people experience it as getting sweaty. Some people experience it as a migraine. Um, Depression, wanting to run away, isolating, hiding in bed, sleeping all the time, not sleeping at all, not eating too much, right? This is all the nervous system going, lie detected. Okay. Now, one of my favorite books is called Diana Herself by Martha Beck. Check it out. It's a fictional story, but I swear it's so true. This character, whenever she experiences a lie, that contradicts her higher self knowledge that she's pure and absolutely pure unconditional love and absolutely innocent, she describes it as the stabbies. She gets this like stabbing pain in her stomach. Okay. So I love that. So the stabbies. So our nervous system gives us the stabbies because it's like lie detected. Okay. So what can we do in this moment? The door has been opened. They said trick or treat. We chose trick. Okay. We get the lie. So first thing, when you notice this nervous system response, take care of yourself, okay, in this first moment. Because even if it's a lie, it still could be as someone who's living in, and that's what I like about the Bashar explanation, that you'll see it in the link if you watch it. if someone's living out of integrity, so they're in the lie, they can be violent. Okay. That's not fake. It's on a spiritual level, it's fake, right? But that could be logistically dangerous. Okay. So you're at the door, you say trick, the person tries to hurt you, your first job is to remove yourself. Okay. And I know it's easier said than done, right? You may have to get a lot of resources and support for this. You may not be able to do it right away, but this is the important part to acknowledge. While yes, everything is spiritual, and yes, we always have full freedom, and yes, even the trick, even when dangerous, is ultimately helpful. But on the very, 3D level, if someone is actively harming you, please reach out for support, remove yourself. Okay. This can be as simple as somebody is being a jerk on the phone, hang it up. You can say to them, hey, I'm going to need to switch gears on this conversation. Can you do that with me? And if they're not able to, you could just click. It could be if you're on a Zoom call and something makes you feel funny, you can say, you can sort of choose your strategy. Hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I need to switch gears. Can we switch gears? And they say, they continue on the same path, you end the Zoom call. Or you could be as, sort of non-obvious as, hey, I'm starting to not feel well, or hey, I need to take a restroom break. I'm going to be back, and just close out, right? This could, same thing in your physical situation. Hey, I'm not feeling so well. I'm going to head home. Or hey, I need to use the restroom, and go do some nervous system regulating exercises in the restroom, right? So first and foremost, when you get that body sensation that tells you, hey, we've got the stabbies, there's a lie detected here, right? Make sure that you get yourself to safety so that you have some time to look at that other person that just offered you this trick may be in a lie state. They may be in a nervous system state where they're out of integrity. They're experiencing a lie, believing a lie, and or you may be out of integrity and experiencing a lie. Okay. Once you've identified that and you've gotten yourself to safety, you now have time to bring up this piece of doubt. I'm going to leave a link to another video that's about how Bashar walks us through how doubt is an access point to freedom from these negative beliefs. Okay. So now that you've taken care of and acknowledged, okay, nervous system gave me a message. I got myself to a safe place so that I could check in with my nervous system. I've used distress tolerance skills if necessary to support myself. I've maybe splashed some cold water on my face. I've done some breathing. I've taken a short walk, right? I've done some paced, progressive muscle relaxation. I've used my distress tolerance skills. I now have gotten myself out of my lizard brain back into my executive functioning. Now I'm going to say, okay, maybe it's in the middle of the meeting, and because I'd like to keep this job long term, I'm going to go back and finish the meeting, but I'm going to put into my phone calendar for this evening, I'm going to set aside a half an hour to take a look at this belief and to doubt it. I'm going to actively doubt it by using something like the work of Byron Katie. Okay. I might use a body dialogue. I might check in with where that stabby occurred for me, whether it was the sweatiness or the migraine or whatever. I might have a conversation with that part of my body and say, hey, what's going on? What are you telling me? I might use one of Bashar's techniques, which is to say, if I'm experiencing this, what belief would have to exist for this to be possible? So this was a little bit more difficult for me. That's why I like the body dialogue or the work of Byron Katie, which is always available for free, and I will link it in this video too. So Bashar's technique is to sort of reverse engineer it and say, okay, if I'm scared when I get a phone call from my ex, it has to mean that I believe that a phone call from my ex is has the potential to be dangerous, right? So you kind of like, what does Martha Beck call it? Walk the cat back. You sort of look at like what would need to come before that for this to be true. So if I'm, you know, see someone screaming, running through the rain, I'm going to say, oh, they must be afraid of rain, right? So you sort of look at if this is occurring, what belief predicated this situation. That one's a little bit more difficult for me. But either way, you use what strategy works for you to question it, to doubt that lie that you were given as a trick. And now you get to have the treat. Remember, even if you choose the trick, you get the treat. So the treat is that once you start to question it, it doesn't kill the belief or destroy it or shame it or judge it. It actually lets the belief transform into this magical thing that is perfectly suited for your growth, your development, your freedom, so that you now feel like, what is the belief that I would like to have instead? You get to imagine into the belief you'd like to have instead, and you get to use it for your own growth. This is why I wrote an entire book called Holy Shit about how the manure of all the gunk of our life becomes the best fertilizer for our growth, right? You, if you're a farmer and somebody has a whole bunch of cow poop, you're like, that's gold, man. Give it to me. It'll make my crops grow like gangbusters, right? So I'm going to go back through these. First thing, when you experience something that you're like, ugh, that didn't feel good, okay? Check out your body. Say, okay. Before you say, oh, it's because so-and-so this, or, oh, it's because I just did this. Check out your body and say, okay, where was that? Is that more of a mobilizing? Do I feel like fighting or running away, fight, flight? Was it more of an immobilizing? Do I feel like freezing or shutting down or hiding? If it was mobilizing, maybe I'd like to do some gentle, heavy movement. I think I'd like to take a little walk or use some of my distress tolerance activities. If it was an immobilizing, maybe I'd like to do some orienting. I think I'll check in with my senses and identify some colors, identify some sounds that I'm hearing, etc. So first one, body check. Second one, figure out, were you experiencing a lie in your nervous system? Was the other participant experiencing a lie in their nervous system? And in that moment of saying, okay, I think actually what was going on with them was okay, and I was just experiencing a lie, so I'm still okay and I can stay here and kind of sort through this. If it's that they're out of integrity and they're, have a potential to create harm in that moment, then you go ahead and you get yourself out of that situation. You set a boundary or you escape, you get out of that situation. Okay. So, number one, body check. Number two, decide what's going on with your nervous system and see if you can figure out what's going on with their nervous system. Number three, if their nervous system is the one that's out of integrity, go ahead and remove yourself, okay? So that you have an opportunity to take care of yourself. Number four, doubt the belief, that lie that was being experienced. Question it. Use the work of Byron Katie. Talk with your body part where the sensation arose. Use Bashar's sort of walk the cat back question. If that happened, what must I have been believing? 5, through the doubt, go into that freedom of choice and imagine some other possibilities. Imagine new belief. Okay. Now, I will admit, all of this is quite difficult to do on your own. That's why I have created um, courses around this, journaling activities, uh, one-on-one sessions, group opportunities, so that we can go through it together. Because doing this all by yourself, that let me see if I can pull up this little chart. I don't think I have it still open. That here we go. When we're doing it by ourselves, show you this. This guy is very convincing. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 and 7, really, because the survival one's huge. That those 7 strategies that the negative belief is using to stay alive, it's incredibly strong. And it is very hard to resist those all by yourself. So this is why I really have found in my life that especially the part where we get in there and question belief, it's much easier to do with another person or in a group, because there is somehow at that point when we're, when they say wherever 2 or more are gathered, there's just more support there, and you can bullshit yourself less easily, right? Because when you say it out loud and you see other people in the room, it's like a little bit of support to help you to be like, maybe actually this isn't as true as I think it is. So I really love doing it with support. I offer that to you if you'd like to do it with me, whether it's in the courses or one-on-one. Check out my website, www.anexperiencer.com, experiencer.com. Check out, I'm going to be adding a lot to this YouTube. I just started this YouTube channel. I'm going to put some of those links in the description. And if you enjoyed this, give it a like and subscribe. It's very exciting to me right now, and so I'm definitely going to continue to post. But if you want to see more, that'll I'm sure support me feeling that excitement. And if you want to share this with someone who you think it might benefit, I would really appreciate that. I really do believe we all deserve to have access to this information, not in a pressuring way. But the more options we have, I think the better. So I love you so much, and I'm sending you all the love. And when you are interacting with Halloween things this year, you remember trick or treat. Which one? Do you want to do the lie, or do you want to question it? Either way, you're going to get the treat. Okay? Mwah.